So this Black Panther movie's been out by how long now? A few weeks? Has it been more than a month?
No,
half a month.
It's like 2 weeks. I think this is the
second
first
weekend.
week. Yeah, the second weekend.
So we're catching it pretty relatively new.
Yeah, it's about a week old.
Oh, okay.
And it's after the second weekend, it hit another record of like 700 million.
Wow.
Is that
in the box
worldwide?
office. It might be worldwide, but I just remember seeing the title of that. That's crazy.
If that wasn't worldwide, I can only imagine what worldwide would be.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty amazing. Immediate thoughts, you guys. I'll start with you guys. Before we get into characters and everything, overall, what do you guys think about the movie?
It's great, especially considering the Marvel, that universe at least of Marvel has lost my interest for a very long time. It hasn't been since Captain America that any of the movies have caught my attention in the Avengers series, but I'm glad Black Panther did it for me.
Yeah, I agree. I was very entertained. I have also fallen off the Marvel movies, and I liked it. I mean, a lot of it had to do for me was the music that just kind of drew me in. Also, I mean, aside from the visuals, which was also great, but I really liked the music.
Yeah, for me, I enjoyed the movie thoroughly.
Yeah,
I guess we can talk about in two parts of the movie. Is one as a movie itself for entertainment, and then what it does societally, right? I think those are two different things in regards to the movie. Societally, I was absolutely excited because this is one of those movies that goes, okay, we're bringing an equal front for younger kids to go, oh, it is normal to have minorities, in this case, Black Americans, African Americans, to be on film. I think it's huge and giant for that purpose. I'll get into my technical opinion about the movie as a movie for entertainment. We can get into that later.
Yeah.
But what did you guys think? What it's doing for Black Americans?
It's important because when I was even talking to my friend Tyler about it, because he came to the movies with me, he was like, yeah, like it's important to not only be prideful, but for the kids. Like, this is a kids movie technically, so like you're gonna see a lot of Black kids now go as this for Halloween. And, like, right. There wasn't a lot of kids couldn't go back as Blade. Like, that was like a rated R movie, so it's just like this is the one kid that actually like falls in that category, which also got me thinking. I'm like, yeah, but you also have like the girl, you also have like the whitest kid playing Captain America, you got like the fattest kid being the Hulk, so like now you just need to throw in the Black character to fill out the Avengers, right?
Yeah, I thought that was the effect on kids. I thought really from a visual standpoint, seeing the native and cultural influences on the movie, aside from all the cool technology stuff that of course kids are gonna love, but actually seeing something cultural, and it's not just associated with, well, I don't even know if they watch National Geographic nowadays, but it's like, oh, making stuff that looked like National Geographic actually look really cool. And like Zach said, I mean, all the women and so girls could be involved in it. It's not just one character. I think it's gonna be it's perfect to include all the boys and girls into the movie.
Yeah, I think that was striking also about the movie is how it portrayed women automatically as like equals.
Yeah.
That bodyguard militia, of shave-headed Black women, that was cool as shit.
That was dope.
Yeah.
I thought that was important because then it also wasn't like trying to be on the nose and going, I am woman. It's just like, we are tribal. Mm-hmm. I really like that aspect where it wasn't trying to hammer it in. Are you guys okay for our listening audience to be spoilerific, kind of?
Yeah, if they're okay with it.
Yeah, so at this point, I guess if you haven't seen it, listen to this on soundcloud.com/PlugOneTwo. PlugOneTwo. But at this point, we're going to go ahead and talk about particular segments in the movie. What I liked about like the women being in charge and fighting, it wasn't like, hey, this woman defeats 50 men.
Right.
Like there's a scene towards the end of the movie where 3 or 4 of the militia women bodyguards is fighting Michael B. Jordan's character,
Right.
Killmonger. So it wasn't like, oh, one woman can handle one large physical man.
Yeah.
So it took 3 or 4, or maybe even 2 or 3 to fight him.
Right. And granted, he's also got superhuman strength.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because then it would have been, and I understand it's a movie, but to add like some sort of believability in that fantasy.
Yeah. Well, it's they're brave. They were just being courageous and brave, standing up for their country, essentially. And it had nothing to do with women, just to, go on your point.
Yeah, but also the physicality where Ryan Coogler said, you know what, it's going to take 3 of you to take this guy out. We're not going to feature one superwoman.
Or slow him down.
Staff.
Really.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. To go full spoiler, right? To fight him, it took 3 women. But, they were painted as supreme people that are equally parts of the tribe,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
You were going to say something, Jake?
Well, along those lines too. I think people have been, I don't know, the whole Wonder Woman movie that came out, was it 2 years ago now, I think. Was it last year?
Last year.
I guess, that whole imagery of like, okay, well, they were like Amazonians or whatever. And okay, so women can do it. But I guess going back to your point, I think that one was more like, oh, people were making such a big deal about it, like, oh, these women, they don't need men in their society. But these women in the movie, in Black Panther, were just a part, and they were a very important part of the society. So I don't know. I really did appreciate that point.
Plus, I like the fact that it felt like the future. It felt like also they were closer to world peace, even though like it was more something under the wraps, and they lived in an underground society. That was like something where it felt like they had their shit closer together than a lot of the countries in the present day world right now.
And to be an old man, normally when you say the future in movies, it's kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator, something post-apocalyptic, but you're just talking about progression,
right? Like
in life.
And especially like comparing the two between Michael B. Jordan, who wanted like the rampage and like the total control, and then what was his name, Boseman, the guy that played Black Panther. Like the fact that his character wanted peace, and also the fact that like they would want to distribute it at the time when it was perfect.
Yeah, and there's so many metaphors in this movie. It's loaded. And it's easy for us, which we should probably overthink and over chat about it, because it's really cool. There is a hacky term I'm going to use, so meaning I'm the hack. It's transcendent. This movie. It's not just like for blacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's for everyone to go, oh, okay, accepted. Blacks on film, accepted. Right, so it transcends that.
Yeah.
But for Black Americans and other minorities, it's a giant leap also.
Yeah. Are you talking about just how the idea of that world? Because
Great question.
The whole Wakanda thing. To be that far sophisticated, over the rest of the world, the rest of Western civilization, it's, I don't know. I thought that was a great thing for people to at least stretch their imagination, and 2, it's like, okay, now for the general population that's used to like Western white America ruling, it's like, okay, what wrap your minds around that?
Well, to me, let's go full geek mode. First of all, when in movies, when they try to portray a society, they want something utopian, right?
Yeah.
So that's always been the thing. Even when we did that Valentine's Day special several years ago, Love, was it? Where Joaquin Phoenix was falling in love with this character, this digital character.
Yeah.
Right? So they try to paint something utopian, right? So without an early tie-in, what I'm talking about, how women were part of the society, Coogler said, okay, we've seen the utopian, but there's duties what utopia should do.
Yeah.
So even though it seems like there's this non-strife, though there are challenges between 5 tribes to challenge the king, but what is labeled Wakanda as utopia should address what's around them.
Absolutely.
So I think that was brilliant of Coogler to do, because it's like, maybe it could be a parallel to like, hey, well-off blacks who figured it out, maybe we got to help our other own.
Yeah.
Hey, minorities who are well-off, there's a bunch of other minorities that need to be put on the map, to be more general and broad.
And just to see the theme of the two, the villain and the hero, to see like that was ultimately kind of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, of like the non-violent versus the violence. Yeah.
Well, truthfully, for the new audience, which we're going to play this on the Beat Junkie channel.
Oh, okay. Dope.
I come from a background where I'm an illegitimate child. So I have a lot of anger as you guys get to know me. Especially I'm harsher for someone to work with over someone to party with. Right?
Well, party part 2 is, just like the whole Halloween thing. I'm sure we'll end up saying that story again. But.
Sure. But I didn't see Michael B. Jordan's character. His name is Killmonger?
Yeah.
Killmonger, right? I didn't see him as a bad guy. He was just the misguided, impoverished kid that had a bad life. And I related with Killmonger.
I know so many people that did. They were actually like he reminded me of Malcolm X, so therefore I wanted him to win.
And you being analogously brilliant, Malcolm X wanted the good for black folks.
Right.
Martin Luther King wanted the good for black folks. But it's just, when you fall into anger, that even though your intention is good, then it gets misguided. And that's a giant, huge thing, I'm sure, in all poor communities.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that whole, the character itself, for Killmonger, I mean, I don't know. I really don't want to give too much away, but I know we've done some spoilers. I just felt like, he was the funnest one. He was the funnest character to follow, because, you didn't know where he was going. Like you said, you don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, because he's kind of both. He can be, he all of his intentions are actually positive in a sense. I mean, maybe not in the right way, but it is to support the outsiders and the underprivileged, so the oppressed, exactly.
So I mean, and the other character, Chad Boseman's character, what is his name? T'Challa?
T'Challa.
I just call him Black Panther.
Right. Sure. T'Challa, he's getting this mighty revelation because of this character, because of Killmonger. Like, maybe we aren't so utopian after all.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we should be responsible in spreading the utopia.
Yeah. Maybe he's feeling like Carlton. When Carlton,
show your
Will
age,
Smith.
brother.
Yeah, man, Fresh Prince.
Well,
reach back.
The entire reason why Killmonger is having this revolt is also because, not to give away two spoilers, but it's because of to see the legacy of the Black Panther and what was hidden from their tribe. That's just that's obviously something that what I picked up from it. It's if you're the president of the United States, you're going to be dealt like something that you did not expect to see when you're going for the election campaign. Because obviously, if you're preaching to do something that as soon as you get in the White House, you're like, well, actually, you can't do that, sir, because blah, blah, blah. And then like you look at the history to know even just like deep down some of the stuff that has happened in this country that a lot of people don't know about. You know a lot of the secrets that happened. Then there's nothing you can really leak out to the public, right?
Yeah, I think people would also fail to not enjoy the movie because it has political parallelisms.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you hit that button in your brain right away where you go too political, you're missing out.
Yeah.
It's like on some Kobe Bryant hate or LeBron hate. You know, it's just you're missing out. You're not seeing it.
That's probably what's going to be in their head no matter what. You know, I mean, the people that...
For those folks.
Yeah, I mean, the people that are upset that, oh, there's not enough white people in the movie, or, you know, oh, there's... I don't know. I mean, I think that's just kind of like, they're not going to enjoy it no matter what. They're just you're just trying to find something to be angry about.
It's like the movie Dunkirk. There were like blacks that were like, there aren't enough black people in Dunkirk. Well, duh. It's happening in fucking Europe, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know the history of you know, that war and how many black soldiers there were, but I would imagine that there weren't that many. Or if there were, maybe they weren't in that particular you know, it wasn't like Glory, to date myself even more.
It's for you. It's for you.
Where they're sending the black regiment in first. You know, I mean, if you're mad at that, then dude, you just need to. You're probably just mad all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're recording in fucking Wakanda Studios right now. This fucking happy place over here. I guess here's also an impact on, let's play the Good Morning America link, Zach, at 2:30, where Chadwick Boseman talks about the impact universally.
And I think you always get what you bring to it, first off. But I think there is a sense of pride that I've seen from most people when they come out of the theater. That is a very unique experience across the board, whether they are African American or African or white or Asian. Mm-hmm. Like, what was very interesting when we were in Korea was people were coming in their own traditional outfits, not African outfits, but their own traditional outfits, right, throughout Asia, just to greet us and give us like our salute. So it's not just a thing of, you know, adapting the characters of this particular film, but finding their own sense of character.
Beautiful. That alone, that's huge. I think what he was talking about was the Korean people in their own garb.
Yeah.
They were so proud, but they were wearing their own garb. So instead of biting, you brought a sense of urgency for us to be proud about ourselves.
Absolutely.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah, I mean that's the inspiration, right? Because you see how proud people are of the film, and how proud people are, and you know how much anticipation there is for this, and to be a part of it. It's like, okay, like you said, you don't want to. I don't know if it's appropriate the film or the culture or whatever, but you also want to represent your own and be a part of the movement. If this is in fact a movement, it's like, okay, we want to be a part of it, but we want to be in our own skin, and we want our own skin to be in a part of this movement,
which is giant, right?
Yes.
Because I'll be exclusive. My experience is to point black.
Yeah.
You know, act black. I fully did that when I was in my 20s. Instead of being like Filipino and Chinese and proud, I don't know how I would fucking dress up like that. I don't know. but still, instead of going, he's proud of himself, he's being himself, let me emulate him.
Yeah.
This era, people are now going, I love what you're doing, I'm proud of myself too. That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I remember growing up, and it was like, oh, my friends had the Africa medallions.
That were
And-
Filipino?
No, that were black.
Okay.
And, even my friend, he went to Africa, he came back, he gave me not a medallion, but like a necklace with Africa on it, and I'm like, yo, I appreciate it. I loved it. I wasn't going to rock it because, I'm not trying to appropriate or anything. I didn't wear an X hat or anything like that.
I did.
But at the same time, it was like, I was searching for something like I was part of it because I just kind of put it in the hip hop culture world, but it wasn't like, I'm gonna be, it's like I'll rock something Public Enemy or I'll rock some, but without wearing the medallion or anything like that.
By the way, I think because Tyler, my homie, was telling me there's a reason why they picked Oakland. Versus what the comic books start off with was Harlem. It's because I believe it was one of the directors that was born in Oakland during that time, and so they brought it closer to Oakland. And in the 90s, that's when so much of the rap, like the gangster rap, was happening.
Well, plus
West
also
Coast.
Ryan Coogler is from the O.
Okay, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Right. So and there was a big fuss with Ant-Man. Because that director wanted it to have his own spin, and they didn't okay it. But
Really?
But this is a controversial topic.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did they okay Ryan Coogler because he's Ryan Coogler, or because he's the black Ryan Coogler, and we gotta honor the blacks before we get a revolt?
It's not that big of a change. I mean, Oakland wasn't where Wakanda is. You know what I mean?
Well, Wakanda is utopian.
Right.
The way he's portraying is this ain't shit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. What's your opinion on? I think it's important that Ryan Coogler put his Fruitvale Station stamp.
Absolutely, and I think that was kind of. I didn't want to take it there because it was like, oh, are they just making it easier for Michael B. Jordan? You already got all the accolades for being Fruitvale Station, and it's like, okay, it's not like a softball pitch or anything like that, but it's like, okay, you already have that in your back pocket. You know that world. You know how to act like you're from that world. Let's just put you there. And also, of course, Coogler being from the Bay, so it's like, okay, let me just put my stamp on it too. I think that was probably the biggest part of it, whether it's because it's black director or whatnot. I think it was just it's his call, it's his production, and it's his West Coast stamp.
I also think the timing is right. He does the Fruitvale Station. He does Rocky. Okay, we're going into this world now. This is a post-Stallone flick. This is about a white boxer, but now it's Apollo Creed, right?
Right.
So he's done so well with his first two shots. Then the timing of him going to Marvel was just right.
Yeah.
This isn't even his first superhero movie. He was also in Fantastic Four.
Ironically, the first appearance of Black Panther was on a Fantastic Four 1966 comic book.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And the Black Panther Party from Northern California was founded 2 months after that Fantastic Four comic book came out.
Yeah.
Well,
They say
it's not my fault. This is Wikipedia, so I'm
right.
I'll blame.
I mean, but I looked that up right after the movie also, and it's just no one's saying they took it from the movie or the comic book or whatever. It would just happen to be. So I don't know. I didn't read anything that said that the Black Panther Party took it from the character. They just kind of.
I think I'm just mentioning it for formality's sake.
Yeah, no, but it's a funny coincidence because it's months apart from each other, and it's like, okay, well that's the imagery. It's like, why is it just because it's a Black Panther? I mean, it could have been any animal.
So let's speculate,
Yeah,
because it's long form.
sure.
I think the timing of it is perfect because look at how blacks embrace Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's movies were about oppression. The fucking Japanese oppressing the Chinese. Mm-hmm. I don't know how, because there's you outnumber them by 1 trillion. You're about the same height, but whatever.
Military. Yeah.
Opium and gunpowder came from China.
Yeah.
Anyways, maybe they were so occupied creating good food. but fucking, so blacks related to that, to the Chinese. Hence, the blaxploitation is combined with kung fu.
Right.
Imagine it's the 60s. You're in the middle of Jim Crow, and then props to Stan Lee. Fantastic Four. Oh, what a black character. A superhero. I can totally see them embracing that so much to where that's it. We're the Black Panthers. And this is theory.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I found the source from Wikipedia. but still, wouldn't that be amazing how fantasy assisted reality?
Yeah.
I mean, look at what we've done with V for Vendetta and how that inspired the Anonymous movement.
Yeah.
That's like the Guy Fawkes masks is like the symbol of like bringing down the system.
The man.
The man, right.
Right. Wow. Oh man.
But imagine it's 66.
That would be that would be dope. I mean, I think, I guess it would be hard for, maybe it on the flip side of that is, oh, we had this idea before Stan Lee did, or like this whole like black power and then using the imagery of a panther. Maybe it's just because it's like, yo, this is an actual animal, and like we don't want to use like a black wolf or something like that.
Well, to their credit, for the Northern Cali blacks at that time, they remixed the idea. They weren't like wearing like paws or anything like that. Put a tail, a paper mache trail,
Like, meow.
tail, right?
Well, those gangsters in those times too, they were really into like quote unquote cosplay, like in the Warriors, that was 70s shit, and they're like dressing up as clowns and baseball players and all kinds of stuff.
But at least for 66,
No, I know what
it
you're
was
saying.
black on black on black.
Absolutely.
Beret, symbolism of military.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And that became history.
Yeah.
I think that's dope. I was like so geeked out after watching it. I was like, what would be my feline character? I was like, maybe the mangy puma, the dying cougar.
You be the cat that goes like this, dude.
Except it would have to be my right, because this old cat had 2 shoulder surgeries, a torn rotator cuff, and a torn labrum. The mangy puma.
It's so funny.
You're the Covina cougar.
The Covina cougar. I sound like a MILF.
Oh yeah, that's true. See how cultural that is? Cougar became like an old Silver Foxy thing to tie in. Would you be the Elysian Park Tigers?
I don't know, man. I'd be
The Eagle Rock Tigers?
something fat.
Or something aging like me?
I don't know, man. I'd be like fucking the alley cat or something like that, dude.
The Starving Kitty. That would be my second one. Let's tie it into that second audio bit on Good Morning America at 3:38, I think, or 3:30. There's this young girl. And this is so dope. We'll do a play-by-play, so Zach, have your hand on the pause instead of the volume down. But this is a young girl who's a fan of Black Panther, who was a guest on Good Morning America.
Has a question for you.
Go ahead, break it down, guys. I can't see that far.
She did the Wakandan salute to him.
And what is she wearing?
Oh, she's also wearing Black Panther. She's also wearing Black Panther gloves
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and a shirt.
Right. I think that's dope.
Why is it important to you that there's a movie like this that represents black heroes?
Okay.
I don't know if that would... Here, pause real quick, Zach. I'm going to be an angry puma. Is that staged and assisted by the dad? I would like to think that's the young girl conjuring that up But that has to be staged, huh?
There's probably some polishing, and probably some practice. So I mean, it's not like I don't think it was an organic kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't. You think she came? I think she came up with like something of that question.
And then it was polished.
I
think we're being kind. What's your thought? Grumpy fucking cat, the dying pussycat. What's your thought?
It was obviously staged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just keep it real, our dude, here in Wakanda Studios, dude.
But it's a good question to pose, especially coming from her versus George Soteropoulos, a white dude going like, so what does it mean? Like, obviously, like, he got more choked up when the little girl said it.
Yeah, and probably some races like, well, she's mixed. So. Or she's light-skinned. Sorry, go ahead.
Important because I didn't have this growing up. Yeah. And just seeing, I'm still a kid. There's a kid in each one of us, and so I just know what it's gonna mean to you when you see it. That it can give you a certain type of confidence when you walk through the world, and it also make people that look like you see you in a different light and not judge you a particular way.
This is the first.
So I think that's great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, she had the full Panther pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, the headband, the shirt, everything.
She did, and I don't recall because I saw it and my memory's fading. But Zach, you saw it, right? She had like that whole Black Panther salute or whatever, that greeting, the cross arm thing. That's dope.
I'm
man.
assuming this. So this was actually before the premiere. I'm assuming it's like.
I don't know.
Well, he said you haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah.
So he kind of alluded to that.
Okay.
There it is. She just has her arms.
That's dope, dude.
And she's smiling like, pick me.
That's dope, though, man.
I think so.
Yeah, this was February 12th, so it was obviously right before the weekend.
Okay.
The opening weekend.
Yeah.
She looks like her not in the scene mixed mom had like a SAG copy because she tried to be a thespian in New York for so long. Is this filmed in New York or LA?
Good morning, America. I think that's New York.
But look there's also a bunch of other kids dressed up in the character. Like there's just different kinds.
Does it look like, when you say different kinds, is it like they went to Kmart and painted might have cat face black?
Like, okay, so there's the kind
like a Hello Kitty black?
There's the kind that like the costume where like it's to like show if he gets pain inflicted on him, the purple kind. So there's that kid right here up front. There's the kids just wearing masks of it, not with a full body costume.
I think the staging, they gave him that shit for free.
Sure.
I think those are giveways.
That wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
There's just a girl that has cat ears and then also has like the necklace. She's just sitting right there.
She's the one that's gonna end up in the pole.
I was gonna say, is there a girl with bunny ears?